Hello everyone, my name is Master Steve, and welcome back to some Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Persians. Now, the Persians are a civ that we can all admit we've had fun with as a kid because there's just something so satisfying about stacking up 60 war elephants, sending them into the AI's base, and watching them absolutely destroy everything. We've all been that kid, and we've all had that fun in the game. But, when they first came out, the Persians were really just kind of average. They were super easy to counter because all you needed was pikemen and any anti-cav were able to shred war elephants, and they just weren't that great overall. However, now that the Persians have, kind of changed over the years, they are now definitely much more of an S-tier civilization, always one of the stronger options you can pick. So let's start off with their Dark Age. And now their Dark Age is, I just talked them up this much, but their Dark Age is extremely weak. Their bonuses are, their town center and dock have 2 times the amount of hit points. I'm sure we've all been the victim of that one Persian player who wants to, do that TC drop early on a nomad map and try to get you. But, other than that, the 2x extra hit points on your town center is not really going to come in handy in the Dark Age unless you're going for a TC drop. Now, their other bonus they get for their town center and docks are they work 5% faster in Dark Age, 10% in Feudal, 15% in the Castle Age, and 20% faster in the Imperial Age. Now, that extra 5% in Dark Age can make a slight difference with being able to pump out some villagers faster. It does kind of mean, maybe you can advance with 2 extra villagers over your opponent, and, eventually that does add up, but in terms of strength of Dark Age civ bonuses, there are definitely a lot stronger ones out there, like the Japanese, cheaper resource buildings and stuff like that. Now, the other bonus they get is they start with plus 50 wood and plus 50 food. And that, it definitely helps out, but it's just not a lot. The extra 50 food can definitely cover some, it covers your first 2 houses basically. You can go for a lumber camp and a mill at the same time if you want to, but that's not the ideal build order for that, that early on, because you'll be still taking the sheep, so you won't really need the mill. So it's something that's it's just very, very situational depending on what your game plan is. So early on in the game, they are super vulnerable, and you truly are at your opponent's mercy if you're playing up against a strong, early civilization, because the Persians always excel in the late game because they have access to so many good things like their elite war elephants, the Savar, and the bombard cannons. They just have such a wide texture in Imperial Age. So as long as you can get there, you are pretty good. So once you come out of the Feudal Age and reach the Castle Age, then you can start kind of, settling down and start getting your death ball together. So another bonus they have is they get the Parthian Tactics technology in Castle Age, which can definitely help out if you're trying to go for some cav archers. But most of the time as the Persians, you are going to be going for cavalry. Cavalry are always your best option. Upon reaching the Castle Age, you should be trying to go for knights. If you can get that going, awesome. You're in for a good game. And now let's talk about their unique unit, the first one which you'll get in Castle Age, which we're all super familiar with, and that is the War Elephant. The War Elephant is a super strong cavalry unit that just seems to absolutely stomp everything. If you guys have watched those YouTube videos where it's 15 of each unique unit versus the other one, War Elephant is the one that typically wins the most because they have such high attack, high hit points, and they truly are kind of a combination of a cavalry unit and a siege unit. They are very versatile and super strong. Their only weakness is, which we've all run into at some point, is once they get converted, your plan kind of backfires in your face. If your opponent has extremely strong monastery technologies, can pump out some monks like the Aztecs, well, War Elephants aren't necessarily your best options because you don't want to be giving your opponent a 600 HP unit for free. So, it's really up to how you want to play the match and just kind of judging your opponent. If they're not really pushing monks as much as you think they should be, definitely punish them with War Elephants. But like I said, if you're playing against the Aztecs or something, your hands are kind of tied because you do not want to be turning this unit over to your opponent. They are super strong, and like I said, they're good at taking down buildings, walls, everything. They are super strong, and their only weakness really is monks and halberdiers. The pikeman line does get extra damage against them, and running into those will definitely complicate some things. But the only thing is that once you reach the Imperial Age, you're really not going to be struggling with halberdiers as much as you think you are if you get the right death ball going. The Persians have a pretty wide technology variety in Imperial Age, and they're super, super flexible. The ideal death ball for the Persians is going to be war elephants. You can have your own halberdiers. They have access to hussars, and most importantly, they get hand cannoneers. Hand cannoneers behind war elephants allows you to kind of have a nice, you'll be able to steamroll your opponent quite nicely, and you combine that with their other unique unit, the Savar. The Savar is the replacement for the Paladin and is unique to the Persians. Now, what's special about the Savar is it's pretty much the same as a Paladin, but is much, much weaker against anti-cavalry units like the Halberdier, but way, way stronger against archers. So if you're playing against a civilization like the Armenians, the Chinese, the Vietnamese, very, very archer-focused civilizations, the Savar is going to be able to wreak havoc on them because they get +4 extra damage against archer units, and then you combine that with their Persian team bonus of +2 attack versus archers. On top of that, they absolutely steamroll all archer comps and are an extremely viable unit. So you have yourself the war elephant for infantry, you have the hand cannoneer to get rid of any halberdiers that are going to be trying to come for your war elephants, and you combine that up with the Savar for any archers, and you're looking at an amazing composition. Now, in terms of siege, the Persians have a good selection to choose from. I do not believe they get Siege Onager, but I know they get Siege Ram, and Siege Ram is just a nice thing to pair up with your war elephants. War elephants can do pretty good against defenses, but essentially if you can just use siege rams to tear down the walls and let your elephants in, your opponent is going to have a super hard time dealing with them. And now their other options for the late game get even stronger when you consider their unique tech Commanderon, which is the archer line gold cost is replaced by wood, which is awesome. So if you're on like a Black Forest map or something, this is going to come in super handy, and you can always have crossbows as a trash unit. No other civilization can say that. And now, while crossbows are a very strong option with this tech, granted, your opponent is always going to have skirmishers, so, it's a kind of situation, but overall, it is a very, very strong option to have for yourself. So, the addition of that extra trash unit versatility in the Imperial Age is super, super handy when those games go super late. And the other thing about the Persians that this thing will only come in handy for team games is they do get the Caravanserai in the Imperial Age, which speeds up your trade cards. And that is super, super handy because all of the stuff I've named, I'm sure you can notice a common theme, is that all of their units are very, very gold intensive. So if you're going to choose these in a 1v1 match, you have a lot of strong options available to you, except if you're going to go down pretty quickly if your opponent can just counter you with trash, because you will notice when you're playing as the Persians, you will be burning through your gold. So in terms of a team, in terms of a team civilization, they are a super, super strong option for 4v4s, 2v2s, whatever, because they'll speed up your own trade cards. They give those extra bonuses against archers for your nightline, and they have a lot of stuff to give. But without trade, the Persians don't really have a lot to offer because, like I said, they will burn through their resources relatively quickly. However, any game you can get trade going and keep the gold flowing, they're like the Turks in the Byzantines. As long as the gold is there, their strength is there. So keep that in mind when you're playing them, and definitely guard your trade lines, and just make sure you pay attention to, watch your resources, watch your unit composition, and just make sure you keep the death ball going. But like I say, if you can build up to those war elephants, rams, hand cannoneers, and savars, you will be pretty much rolling over all of your opponents. Now, I will say right now that, the biggest counter for the Persians is going to have to be the Incas. They are super scary. They have a lot of anti-cav options. They have a lot of anti-infantry options. They have a lot of strong siege options. Incas versus Persians, the Incas usually are going to be the strongest thing. So that about sums it up for the Persians. The only thing to add in here is that they do have a unique tech called Citadels, which allows their castles to fire bullets instead of arrows, and it gives them some extra damage against infantry and rams, which is super helpful. And they have 25% less bonus damage coming in against them. So they are super, super strong, and Persian castles are always something to watch out for as well. So overall, the Persians are an amazing civilization. You can play them defensively, you can play them super aggressively. It really is a very versatile civ and one of the strongest you can choose at the moment. I would rate them S tier and always a very strong option to choose. Just keep in mind, they are very, very gold intensive, and if you run out of gold, you're going to be struggling hard. So that about sums it up for this video. If you guys found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and help me reach 1,000 subscribers. We are almost there. I'm 3/4 of the way. I kind of see the end. So let me know down in the comment section down below what civ you want to see next, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.